You aren't depressed. You are a coward who is cannibalizing his own soul because you are too afraid to step onto a real battlefield. Right now, somewhere, a 20-year-old is building the company you thought about. A 22-year-old is posting the physique you plan to build. A 19-year-old is living the life you told yourself you'd start next month, and you are watching it, in the dark, on a 4-inch screen. You close the app. The weight hits your chest. You open another app to kill the pain. And somewhere deep in that cycle, you have started to believe the problem is you. That belief is the most expensive lie you will ever buy. That burning self-hatred you feel every night, it is not a disease. It is your instinct for freedom, forcibly made latent, pushed back, repressed, incarcerated within itself, and finally able to discharge and vent only on itself. That is Nietzsche's exact description, written in 1887, about you, tonight. He called it bad conscience, and he located it precisely. Humans could no longer express aggressive instincts outward, so they turned them inward. This internalized violence, guilt, shame, self-punishment, is what Nietzsche calls bad conscience. You were built to hunt, to conquer, to impose your will on something external and real. Modern civilization removed every legitimate target, so the weapon turned around, and now it points at the only thing left in range, you. There are 3 phases to self-destruction, and you are living all of them simultaneously. Phase 1. The spectator's envy. You open the feed. You see a man your age. He has built what you want. He looks the way you plan to look. He is doing the thing you said you would do. What fires inside you is not admiration. It is a primal signal, the biological recognition of a competitor who has outpaced you. The instincts of hunting, cruelty, hostility, and destruction that characterized our prehistoric lives had to be suppressed when we entered into society. As a result, we turned all this violence inward. You cannot attack him. Society forbids it. So you attack yourself instead. You call it inspiration. It is not inspiration. It is shame dressed in a productive costume, and it paralyzes more men than failure ever has. Phase 2. The paralysis freeze. You have identified the target. You know what you need to build. You sit down to begin, and nothing happens. Not because you lack ability, because you have constructed a perfect scenario in your mind, where you either execute flawlessly on the first attempt, or you confirm the worst thing you believe about yourself. The fear is not failure. The fear is evidence. One failed attempt, and the story you are already telling yourself becomes fact. So you do not attempt. You wait for conditions that will never arrive. You research instead of build. You plan instead of execute. You stay perfectly still and call it strategy. The only place left where a person is free to express their instinctive desire for power and aggression is in their own mind. When a person feels guilty, they effectively exert power on themselves. The paralysis is not weakness. It is your will to power, operating at full capacity, on the only target you have allowed it to reach, yourself. Phase 3. The dopamine truce. You cannot sustain the paralysis indefinitely. The pressure becomes unbearable. So you negotiate a ceasefire. Video games, pornography, endless scrolling, food, anything that floods the reward system and creates the temporary sensation that something has been resolved. Nothing has been resolved. You have signed a peace treaty with your own mediocrity. You have traded the war you needed to fight for 20 minutes of chemical relief, and every time you make that trade, the next real action becomes harder to initiate. The threshold rises. The gap between who you are and who you could be widens by exactly the distance of that truce. Nietzsche urges us to direct our bad conscience against the life-denying forces that suppress our instincts. The enemy is not the feed, not the game, not the screen. The enemy is the truce itself. The moment you chose relief over war, the weapon exists. You cannot destroy it. All instincts that do not discharge themselves outwardly turn inward. The entire inner world expands and extends itself in the same measure as outward discharge is inhibited. You have 2 options. Continue pointing it at yourself, or find an external target worthy of it. There is no third option. There is no peace. There is no acceptance that ends this. The fire does not go out. It feeds on whatever you give it. Right now, you are feeding it yourself. Step 1. Own the shame. Stop explaining your current state. Stop contextualizing it. Stop telling yourself the story of why you are here. Look at the gap between what you are and what you intended to be. Feel the full weight of it. Do not reduce it. Do not make it comfortable. That shame is not your enemy. That shame is raw kinetic energy that has been sitting in a container for years with no outlet. It is not a wound. It is fuel that has been mislabeled as a wound. The first move is to stop treating it like damage and start treating it like ammunition. Step 2. Declare war on comfort today. Not next week. Not after the current circumstances improve. Choose the hardest available action in your life right now. Not the most strategic, not the most efficient, the hardest. The one your body resists before your mind has finished considering it. Do it before you negotiate with yourself. Do it before you calculate the odds. Do it with the specific understanding that you are not doing it to succeed. You are doing it to prove to the machine inside your skull that you control it. One override today. The rest follows from that. Step 3. Radical externalization. Every dark thought that arrives, every flash of self-hatred, every moment of shame, every image of who you should have been by now, convert it immediately into a physical action. Not a plan, not a note, a physical action. The thought arrives. You lift something. You write something. You build something. You make a call you have been postponing. You begin the thing you have been researching for 6 months. All instincts which do not find a vent without turn inward. Reverse the direction every single time, without exception, until the redirect becomes automatic and the self-cannibalism runs out of material because you have externalized everything it used to feed on. You were not built for the dark room and the 4-inch screen and the crushing weight at 2 a.m. You were built for a battlefield. The only question Nietzsche leaves you with is the only question that has ever mattered. Which direction does the weapon point tomorrow morning? That answer is yours, and only yours.